materialistic life. Been up really early. Ah, stretch. So, just different messages. Channeling different messages. Okay, so there's way too many tarot readers, and I'm sure a lot of them are gifted in many aspects. Um, but this ain't like a fad, okay? There was a reason why in the old days they only had a couple oracles who were specifically called for that position, okay? When it becomes like a marketplace and everybody coming with these narratives at, collective readings aren't individual readings. It's like an energy that runs a collective, like a principality. So, if you want to stop living a certain narrative, you have to take control of your narrative. You got to stop believing what people are speaking into your existence, and you have to take charge of your narrative, even though you take charge by surrendering to the Most High. Because that's a form of trusting, having faith in a power greater than you that has your back, regardless of what astrology is telling you, regardless of what the wars of the stars and the war between these, different entities, and how obviously monitoring spirits can hijack in the astral plane. Okay. So when you giving the enemy pretty much your play, you giving them means to counterattack you. But this is where I tell people you can't live in fear either. And a lot of people gotta stop living in fear. Stop allowing fear to dictate you. And a lot of these readers like to place fear in people. Like, oh, be careful of this, be careful. Like, you letting shit in by believing it. You giving that person power over them to speak life into your existence. This is the difference between Christ consciousness and heavenly hosts. Heavenly hosts are still ran by a narrative. Christ consciousness broke through the intention of whatever the curse brought, whether it's the curse of the law, whether it's the curse of that Bible, whether it's the curse that, like I said, amongst the repeating of the story through principality, right? All this thing that people feel like they're tied under, and none of it means shit, bro. Because people still not living a mystery, which is hasn't even happened yet. You're living a projection. So it's easy to follow a narrative when you sit here playing the game. But the way you're gonna shift the game is by transmuting it. And I don't think everybody has the power to do that. That is a universal law that you're gonna have to learn. And I'm sure you're gonna be in enough negativity to where you're gonna have to learn how to transmute negativity. So at this point, nobody could speak over your life, anything, unless you agree to it, unless you affirm it, confirm it, reaffirm it, speak it, agree to it, trine with the concept, become it. You see what I'm trying to say? It's like you could be whatever you want to be, whatever that looks like to you. But a lot of people, they caught up by the story, and there's nothing you can do about it. They're binded to that reality. So, when it comes to 444 warning, when it comes to reading tarot, shit ain't for everybody. And you're going to start seeing people fall off the wayside, especially because they're not in it for the right reasons. If you in this shit for money, boo, with Queen of Pentacles in reverse, it's already over for you, World card, because oracles never took financial payment. They took gifts, energetical gifts, whatever that was, like equal exchanges. So that means that people would come visit them, get information, and then give them all sorts of gifts and things. But it's not required like this is a career move or a job, in a sense where, you know, when you have spiritual gifts, you're not supposed to really exploit them. That's why they're gifts. And usually gifts is like people, when you get a message, you're not supposed to be paying nobody $500 to receive a message. See, that's the difference. Too many people like these churches that want to go out here and make for profit, and you out here trying to sell faith. It's like you can't do that. Reiki healers out here charging people $300. I get it. That's your energy. That you're, equal exchange, and it's in exchange to monetary value. But if that is the purpose, if you're not in it to actually help people, you're in it for the wrong reasons, my love. And with Ten of Pentacles, Seven of Cups, there's too many fake people. There's too many people in this shit for the wrong reasons. Too many fake high priestess. They all do it for money. Money is their money is their motivation. Not because they generally have a connection to the Most High and they're here to act as an intermediate or a messenger, and as an alchemist they help to transmute energy as well as help manifest. This is someone who's a wisdom keeper, who's here to protect knowledge, who's here to keep everything balanced, who is in touch with moon energy, so they are in touch with the subtle, the subconscious, the shadow aspects. So there's a dual aspect. This is someone who, again, wisdom keeper, scroll keeper, intuition, someone who uses their gifts to help guide others, okay, to counsel them, to assist them on, their spiritual journey. When heroes or warriors, they would go to oracles to get advice because they were connected to the Most High. They were connected to the divine. That's why it's called divination. Now, you have to prepare your body for shit like that. You're gonna be attacked. There's gonna be spiritual warfare because you're dealing with the astral realm, and when you're in the astral realm, it's still duality, fourth dimension. So that's where the archon is. That's where a lot of vampires, and that's why a lot of people get drained, because being in that type of realm. And again, if you allow people to hijack your space, the energy, these people can sit here and change your narrative. This is where, when you start to hear the repetitive narrative, somewhere along the line, you got to get out. That's karmic ass readers dealing, with divine problems. Why? Because real divine people don't have time to listen to gossip. Divine people out here trying to change the world and make changes for themselves, and understand the inner and the outer, and how it reflects on a larger scale. So they're busy trying to, again, transmute energy, trying to align themselves with a divine path. Okay? And unfortunately, a lot of people are just looking at this as opportunity to come up, or to done up, to do people all sorts of type of ways. A lot of people don't go in this shit with the same intention. Divine feminine is somebody like an empress. It's higher than a queen, which means you have had to graduate for queenships. Empire is somebody who can actually rule on a larger scale. Someone who has a purpose, a mission. They came here to fulfill a specific mission. Okay? And most of them are healers and teachers. Twin flames are healers, they're teachers, they're leaders of their community. So no, honey, if you're not willing to go out there and face your fears and do some things that people are gonna obviously call you crazy for, and sit here and live in your truth, and do things out of the heart, the divine feminine principle, um you're just a clone. You're a copy. You're a parasite. And you're gonna stop stealing from other people's ideas just because you're gatekeeping and you're trying to keep people in certain levels. The people who should be getting their credit because they're that original creative divine feminine energy, they have the ability to actually create things. They're not going to be abused anymore. This is fair. With Six of Pentacles, this is finally getting what you worked for. Some of y'all been working all your life basically for free because people have been taking advantage of y'all hearts. Because you have this certain childlike innocence. So they think you're naive. They think you're dumb. They don't know that, you know what I'm saying? That's just who you are, dog. Regardless, Tower card. This is like holding on to that innocence because 111, the only way into the kingdom of God is by going back to your original self, whatever that was, right? Before you sat here and fell into temptation and lost your divinity because of it. So a lot of people think because they read a tarot card that they're divine because they're reading divination. Or they look at this shit like, oh, this ain't nothing. This is easy. This is this. When a lot of people had to go through a certain preparation. A lot of people were called from the ancestors or the spirit itself to different, because again, you have to be under a certain divine protection. And these people try to sit here and sabotage your protection. These people, again, want to call you a witch. But, honey, you're not part of no coven. You got to be a witch, you got to be part of the coven. And you got to do witch shit. So you don't operate like a witch, even though they like to call you one. And no, you don't do just divination. There's a lot of things you do that obviously you focus on different shit. So they can look at you like, well, what, a lot of y'all, you just trying to build your foundation right now. So you're not trying to prove nobody shit. There's things that you really want to do with your life, whether it's humanitarian work or help the children, you know, whatever, right? This is giving back to the children. Fuck the adults, no offense. The adults could be full of shit all day. They're exploitive. The community is like based on our future itself. And a lot of these kids are being treated like they don't even exist. And a lot of y'all just want to put more attention on their needs and their security and their safety. Because, really, who has their back besides a false ass governmental system? You know what I mean? And 333, you walking away from the way society does things. You're just not with this corporate bullshit, capitalistic, eat baby mongering type society. You're emotionally disconnected by how people feel or regular day-to-day, the things that people like to do. You're just different. You're just different. You think different, you operate different, and some people don't like that shit. You've dealt with enough Knight of Wands energy, which is people coming in and out with their fuck opinions, Page of Wands, just always having something to say, immature shit. And, this is like dealing with online trolls and bullies. This is something that you've dealt with. A lot of y'all, you just changing the way you operate or how you deal with these trolls or how you just handle business. A lot of y'all, you're not going to give it even attention anymore. It's like, why even sit there and tit for tat with people? You know what I mean? because they don't like your truth. They don't like it that you are the Queen of Swords and the real Empress. So I said, Divine Feminine doesn't have to sit here and show out, show off, prove no point, tell nobody shit when it comes to like trying to force your mechanisms on others. People gonna follow through anyway because they see that your way works. You out here paving a way where there isn't one. And a lot of y'all, you feel like these people get, they kind of show you fake love. They not real. They think you don't see, but you are a seer. You choose to stay quiet where it's needed. So please don't listen to these narratives and keep repeating the story that they want you to repeat, because when you choose a role, it comes 555 with a story, and that's what we talk about principality. If you're just reliving somebody else's story or your story on repeat, then you're not creating the new story. And this is where people got to detach from trusting what somebody else is saying over their own intuition or over their own connection with the Most High. Because we're here to assist, but we're not the solution. Only God can heal your disease. Only God can change your life. Because sometimes, honey, some things are beyond even your understanding or even your capacity. And this is where I every day I try to promote people to just surrender their way, which is hard because a lot of y'all just attached in what you want and what you think you see. And I'm sorry, like you can't call yourself divine and you ain't doing divine shit, bro. You ain't operating out of that. This is also having to block out people that are toxic. People that are fake, people that play in your face, people that worked secretly against you. You know what I'm saying? You're having to really walk away from a different reality. And that's what it means to shift. But you have to create the shift too. You got to be part of the change. Change ain't going to happen on its own. It happens through the law of action. This is changing the way you think, maybe changing even your career, being open to other things. You know what I'm saying? Knowing how to budget, watching your spending habits. This is like not staying connected to people, places, or things, attachments that keep you in the past. This is you facing your own toxicity. This is like your codependencies. Maybe blocking the fact, having too many people having access to you because, again, of draining of the energies. This is like, check and balances. This is balancing of this is learning about energy. This is learning about frequency. This is learning about vibration, individually or together, and understanding it, how it plays a role in your life. How are you utilizing it, or how are you sitting here harnessing your own shit? Like, what are you doing with your energy? Also studying a lot about dimensions and portals and gates and windows and doors, because your senses is what they use to plug you in the matrix, to keep you stuck. So it's through the desire. And your senses are the very things that have to be like gatekeep. They have to be checked. What are you watching? What are you eating? What are you listening to? What are you speaking? What are you agreeing to? What are you giving yourself to? Yeah, so a lot of y'all, you becoming conscious on another level. This is a new opportunity coming your way with Fool card, King of Pentacles, and a a Four of Wands. Somebody's worried because of this new beginning. They don't like what you have to say, but you trying to teach this person how to be, how to manifest. You know, you trying to teach people how to do this. Whoever is open, because if they're not open to it, honey, Ace of Swords, you really don't give a damn. You're not out here just having to prove a point because you need to feel some type of way about getting recognition, or this ain't about cloud chasing. This is for real. Like, you really want to change your life. Serious inquiries only, because only people who are willing to make the steps necessary, to take the action necessary, to not sit here and live by limiting belief systems, or sit there and just listen to what anybody tell them. You gotta have your own backbone, boo. You gotta be able to stand for something, or they say you fall for anything at this point. And there's a lot of magicians out here speaking over your life. It's your choice to believe it or not, because you can't stop the fact that people out here just spell casting on each other. The point is, what are you allowing in your mental? Are you allowing these things to perpetrate you and change who you are and get you to go along with the schism? Or are you going to question it and be like, you know what, God, let me pray on this real quick. This shit don't feel 1,000% right. And this is where part of me had to stop listening to too many readings, because it was just starting to sound the same, and it was repetitive, and it was just like trying to make me to follow a narrative that was already done, when I have power over the ability to change my circumstance, because I have a choice. And you could choose to do things how you always have done them, or you can choose to do things different and see a different outcome. You see what I mean? But you're an alchemist. So you have the ability to transmute energy. And I need you to remember that. There's power in your word. And stop giving the adversary leeway over that. Not everybody who call themselves, light workers are of the light. Obviously. Because they would live for the truth more than money, more than material gain, more than recognition, more than being worshipped, or, proving to be right. There's nothing to be right about. It's about what's fair, what's balanced. So yeah, start taking control of your narrative if you're able. For those who understand what I'm saying, because only 10% are really creators. 20% are observers, and the rest of them are just followers. So y'all need to understand that not everybody's a co-creator. Not everybody is here to do the same shit. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but at the same time, don't fool yourself if you out here doing magician tricks, and when that shit backfire, because it's the universal law of what goes around comes around, cause and effect. When that shit come back, and in the Most High Ace of Swords kick your ass. You get what I'm saying? Because of your intention, because of what you sent out to people, or whatever it is, knowingly or unknowingly. But in this case, it's showing me people who do know what the fuck they do. And see, they think because they haven't gotten their reap, that they can keep doing what they do. And I'm sorry. This is why God has avenging angels. This is why God has death angels. He already has Lord of Karma that serves karma on his behalf. He don't have to sit there and be burdened by your bullshit when it's your story. Why are you trying to include the Most High in your problems that you created? 444. Yeah. Ain't that some shit? Because you want to go out here and manifest fuckery, but then you want to blame somebody else for it. It don't work like that. This is about taking accountability, boo, and responsibility. That's when we tell you to grow up. And we're them big boy draws, big girl draws, and with 10 of fucking wands. It's time to walk the walk, y'all. Some of y'all want to get into this bullshit magic thinking it's all the answers. When you realize that it's backfiring you, it's causing more problems. And this is why, you know, some of y'all, you smarter than that shit, dog. A lot of y'all, you just like, you sit back and you watch people just doing dumb shit, then having to reap their karma because of what they did. And, you know, as a result, a lot of y'all, you always reap your karma instant. So a lot of y'all got to learn these lessons quick, early on. And you're grateful for that because now you on some other mind frame with the 10-10. Whatever people's plan was over your life, whatever their plots, plans, or strategies was over your life, honey, it's been canceled, deleted, altered. Return back to sender. And that's what it is. Have a great day. Because I will. God is good all the time, even when he doesn't do what you want him to do. Have respect for the Most High, your Father, the very nutsack that you came out of. Mama? Because that's the schism of the universe. I see Mama. And if you don't have respect from the source that you came from, honey, you don't respect yourself or others. And that's just common sense.